In this film, we're going to be looking at how to create this style of poster using the word art that we've seen on previous films. And basically, we're going to start with our image, and just so we can show you kind of the process from step by step. First thing will be is select the subject. Photoshop then will make a cutout basically of that image, and if we open up the layers palette, if I just hit Control J, you can see that basically we've got a copy of the guy above now. On this bottom layer, in fact, all I'm going to do is actually fill it with white. So if I press D for default, that puts black on top and white underneath, and if I hit Control Backspace, then basically that puts it as a white background. I'm not worried about the fringing or anything else or the bad cutout with this at all. It's just for graphics. So I'm just going to flatten it. I'm going to actually turn it to black and white. I'm just going to add then a little bit of contrast in towards the image. And then what I'm going to do is just slightly crop the photograph down. Let's clear that. Just drag it manually down a little bit above the hat. There we go. Double clicking it, and then we just go ahead and we save this. Now we've saved it before. It's called the X Boy and Hat, but let's do it again. So this is Boy and Hat 2. Pressing save. Just to show you how all this works. Okay. So the next thing that we did is we launched wordart.com, and we're going into the creation, and we need some words. So we basically went into here and we created model, headshot, actor, and then all we got to do then is use the auto selection in here, and then go to copy mode, switch off the 5 dots, select all those words, come back into word art, go into import, paste in, and then import the words themselves. Now I want if we just click the visualization for a minute, you can see it'll create it, but I want to make sure that headshots is bigger, so I'm going to add a number 20 into that. Models, make that 10. Actor is going to be 10 as well. So all I'm doing is highlighting it on here and then changing it to the numeric of 10. And in this case, because it's child models that we're going after, we want that as well. So the only thing I want to get rid of is that headshot here, because it's too long a word. So I want to just remove that anyway as such. So I'm just going to go to headshot. In fact, I should have changed that to photographer. Here we go. And make that 10 as well. And that's going to, if I just visualize again, it's going to change the word kind of dynamic, as you can see. Now, as we showed you on the last film, we want to go into shapes, not use one of these shapes. We're going to upload that image we just saw. Remember, looking for number 2. Uploads that. We can change the kind of dynamic. I've already done it, in fact, in Photoshop, so it's quicker. And then all I need to do is in the fonts, go and choose a font that I want. Let's go to Bangers, is it? That's pretty cool. Layout, then we're going to go to random, just going to press style. Don't really want to change anything here yet, and let's visualize it. So straight away we've created a great shot. Let's actually download that image. So standard JPEG, so we don't pay for it. I'm just going to open that straight into Photoshop. So what am I going to do now? The first thing I want to do is make this much bigger, because we're going to crop it to add in a few more of the actual boy into this shot and things really. Before I go any further though, I just want to actually go and grab the original boy here and actually drag him onto the actual new kind of shot. Now he's obviously way too big, so that's okay. Control T. Let's just drag this down. What I'm looking to do is actually match his size with the actual boy that we've got. So let's just change the opacity down so I can actually see more accurately the size that we're dealing with. There we go. And the reason I'm doing that is that I want to be able to actually go and make a selection around him. So if I just kind of click this off for a minute, we've seen it already what to do. It's basically just go into the selection, select the subject. That's going to just select this working layer, not up below. And then what I'm going to do is actually just Control J it. But I'll just hide this one for now. Now if I Control click onto this thumbnail layer, you can see it's made the selection again. So if I now select the bottom layer, the selection from this top one is now actually being made on the bottom one here. So now I can just go Control J and I've made a selection, in fact, of this bottom photograph. So it's kind of a quick cheat, that's all. I really don't need this image here at all with the actual white background still, so I may as well go ahead and actually delete that one straight away. This is just going to make it nice and easy for me to make the selection around each of the actual other images that I'm bringing in. So in the same way, all I really need to do is go back into WordArt and make some more of the boy, just to save a little bit of time. Let's just kind of just drag in some images I've done. So in the same way, just drag these in. They're all going to kind of fit in their own size and things really. So what I've got now here, of course, if I do that same selection, so remember, Control click it, that makes the selection of the boy here. I'm going to choose the top layer, just going to create a mask on it, that's all. Now with the next layer down, Control click that one and make a mask around that one as well, and of course the other one was already cut out. So now what I can do is basically move these other images off to the side, and they're basically ready to actually have some colorization. Remember, the boy is still there as well, and depends on where I want to have him. So in other words, this middle image of the boy, this one here, I want him on top, so I'm just going to move this layer to the top now, and then this other shot of the young guy, I'm going to move him out. Okay, so to move a layer that is hidden behind, especially if you've got the auto selection on, just select the layer you want and then Control click to actually move him across. Alright, I'm now going to just quickly convert this layer to a smart object, because I want to add some blur, but I might want to change the blur. So then I'm just going to go to Convert Smart Object, and then go to Filter, Blur and Gaussian blur. No, I'll go to motion blur, in fact, and we'll just add that extra little bit of shape. It's pretty cool. And then I want to actually duplicate that same one. So instead of going down to here to duplicate layer, I could have just actually just gone to Control J, or pressing the Alt key and dragging him across, and that duplicates it as well. And you can see they're both smart objects now. I'm just going to toggle the effects down so it's just not expanding the layer too much. So let's drag out the boy out to the side, drag him out as well. These are pretty cool. Might decide to actually lower their opacity down soon. First of all, let's go in and add a background color. Alright, so let's just click on the background, select onto a layer. Let's just go and choose a color as the background. So let's go to that shocking red, and then we'll just Control backspace to actually fill it with red, and then we've got the kind of the solid there. Now if you want to create yourself a little bit of a kind of text on the background, this is where we use Wordle, and in the same way all I've done is pasted in text here, created the words. As far as the layout is concerned, rounder edges, horizontal or mostly horizontal, whichever I want, and then I can just go into the font, choose the actual font that I want, Tank Light, and color we're going to go for white text on black. Okay, so that's our kind of look and feel. So I'm just going to save the PNG, just go to boy headshot, words on black, and then what I'm going to go is File, Open, go into here, and then basically we're looking for the boy headshot, and there we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag this onto the background layer. so you can see it kind of fits in behind as well. I'm just going to duplicate that for a minute and just hide one of them, and I'm going to make this one bigger. So Control T, just make it as big as we can to actually go into the background. Looks pretty cool. And now if I want, I can actually have a little look at the different kind of overlays. So if we want to see through the red, obviously darken, and if we want actually it to have white on red, we go into the lighten mode. Okay, they're opposite, so it's affecting the blacks and the whites, how it reacts with the red below. So let's go back to the black, I think, for now. And now let's choose one of the boys at a time, and we'll add a solid color to them. So in other words, just zooming this up so you can see it, clicking onto the top layer to begin with, down to the half moon, solid color, choose a color I want. Now in the same way as we chose the blend layers before, how do we want this to act with the one below? You're going to just actually work your way through. So I'm ignoring the backgrounds for a minute. I'm only looking at the front image and actually what is going to be the best for it. So overlay looks great. Soft light is good as well. Overlay I prefer so far, so I'm just going to go for that one there. Now I don't want this blue color to affect them all, even though it doesn't look too bad, to be honest. I just want the blue to affect the guy here. So I'm just going to actually press and hold the Alt key and just hover between the two layers and then just click onto that. Now this color only affects this one image. Okay, let's do that again. So in other words, we click on the solid color, go and choose another color. Remember, we want it to just affect the layer below. And now we just need to go down and actually use the overlay again. Going to choose the next one, solid color. Let's go for orange perhaps. Pressing OK. Once more, Alt just between those two layers and turning it back into the overlay once more. So you can see that we've begun to create ourselves quite a dynamic style of image here, and we haven't had a huge kind of amount of work to actually be working with. So remember to actually play around with the likes of the layer blend modes to actually see what is the kind of the best one for you. But one of the things I'd encourage you to do is obviously change the different fonts between the different images, especially if you're using the same image. So again, the great thing about this, if we open up the layers again, we know that top layer here is still free transformable, and if I wanted to free transform the others as well, I could, because remember the mask is locked to it. If I just click on this one image and I go to Control T, I can still make this one the biggest within the actual image itself and things. So that is how we create ourselves a bit of a text effect poster using the likes of WordArt and Wordle to cheat to all the text wrapping.